7, and it's called Simon the Pharisee. Pharisees are like the church leaders, the priests, those who have used their whole life to study the Bible and they're knowledgeable about it. And now instead of spreading a message of love, they're going around being like religious or church police. If you do something wrong, they're going to come after you, in a sense. So this is called Simon the Pharisee from Luke 7. One of the Pharisees asked Jesus to eat with him. Jesus went into the Pharisee's house and took a place at the table. There was a sinful woman in that town. She knew that Jesus was eating at the Pharisee's house. So the woman brought some expensive perfume in an alabaster jar. She stood at Jesus' feet crying. Then she began to wash his feet with her tears. She dried his feet with her hair. She kissed his feet many times and rubbed them with the perfume. When the Pharisee who asked Jesus to come to his house saw this, he thought to himself, if this man were a prophet, he would know that the woman who is touching him is a sinner. In response, Jesus said to the Pharisee, Simon, I have something to say to you. Simon said, let me hear it, teacher. Jesus said, there were two men. Both men owed money to the same banker. One man owed him 500 silver coins. The other owed him 50 silver coins. The men had no money, so they could not pay their debt. But the banker told the men that they did not have to pay him. Which one of those two men will love him more? Simon answered, I think it would be the one who owed him the most money. Jesus said to him, you are right. Then he turned to the woman and said to Simon, do you see this woman? When I came into your house, you gave me no water for my feet, but she washed my feet with her tears and dried my feet with her hair. You did not greet me with a kiss, but she has been kissing my feet since I came in. You did not honor me with oil for my head, but she rubbed my feet with her sweet-smelling oil. I tell you that her many sins are forgiven. This is clear because she showed great love. People who are forgiven only a little will love only a little. Then Jesus said to her, your sins are forgiven. The people sitting at the table began to think to themselves, who does this man think he is? How can he forgive sins? Jesus said to the woman, because you believed, you are saved from your sins. Go in peace. So, this was one of the Pharisees. The Pharisees, and maybe this is Simon the Pharisee. So Simon has invited Jesus Christ over to his house. And he, of course, wants to learn more about Jesus, what he has to say about life, about God, just a wisdom talk conversation. So he's like, hey, Jesus, I see you out there preaching. I see the other Pharisees, they're always heckling you and harassing you, but let me hear what you have to say. Some of your stuff sounds pretty good. So would you come to my house? I'll feed you, dinner. So he comes over there, and this woman, she knows that Jesus Christ is in the Pharisee's house. So she hurries up at home and like, oh my gosh, they won't let me in just for regular, but if I can go get my alabaster jar and maybe I'll tell them that I'll bring it in as a gift or something, they'll probably let me in. So she comes in there, she gets to Jesus Christ, and she just starts letting all her life experience pour out through her tears. And she's at Jesus Christ's feet because she knows this is the Savior of the world, and he's been doing nothing but good, and this is someone who can save me from the life that I've been living and forgive all the sins that I've committed. So, and she's known around town as a sinner, so obviously maybe she's a hooker or something. So she's in there, she's like, oh God, just save me. I've been sleeping around with so many people. I've done all these sins. I hear that you can save me from my sins and free me and give me that peace that I need. So she comes in there with her perfume. The only valuable thing she probably has, the most valuable thing, it says it was expensive perfume in a jar. So she comes in there and she starts crying, letting it all out. Like it was a counseling section. And that's why Jesus Christ is called the high counselor, because he can get all those negative vibes out of you. Life sometimes, especially depending on what environment you're growing up in, life can sometimes compile crap into your spirit, into your heart, into your mind, so you're just constipated. Your love is constipated, and you have a hard time, pumping any kind of love out because it's all backed up because of all the BS that you've run through in your life. which is what she's doing. She's heard this man can save sins. He can heal. He can show love, etc. She had to definitely, by any means necessary, get to that man and just come to him and just let out all the pain that was gathered up inside her, like he was a counselor. Like if you went to a psychiatrist or something and you just are on the couch lying down telling your whole story, and all the tears and all the pain just start flowing out of you. This is what her tears was about. And now that I think about it, a few videos again, I said when you give a gift to God, usually you're encouraged by a leader, a church leader or something, to give a gift to God that's financial. God's not all about money. God can make money if he wants. He doesn't need our money. And I asked, have you ever thought about sowing a gift of tears? Because this is something you're created from scratch for a purpose. You're dropping these tears for some reason. And if you make it to be in dedication to God for all he saved you from, those things are very valuable, more valuable than this expensive perfume that this woman brought into the room. Her tears were more important than that perfume. She might not have known it, but it was. If she had left that jar outside, that perfume outside, and just came with her tears, that would have been valuable enough. So she stands at Jesus Christ's feet and cries, and she's using her hair to wipe Jesus' feet. And back in the day, it's sandy all around, so they got these sandals on, and they're walking around, and their feet get all dirty from the sand. So when they come inside someone's house, usually the first thing they do is wash their feet because they've been out there, and they take their sandals off. And they don't want to be walking around muddy in someone's home, spreading sand crap all over the place. You know how if you go to the beach and when you're about to get back in the car, you're like, oh my gosh, I definitely gotta go get this vacuum out because it's sand crap that just goes from nowhere. You don't know where it's come from. You dust it off as much as you can, and now you got sand everywhere in the cracks and crevices of your car. So this is what it is. So he's walking in there. He's come to this man's house to talk about wisdom, things of God. Here comes a woman. She's crying at his feet, washing his feet with her hair, getting them all shiny and clean, and she's kissing his feet while she's doing it just to show appreciation, just saying, this is all I got. I got these tears and I got this perfume. It's all I got, and whatever I got is yours. And that's the kind of sacrifice that we should do in return for Jesus' sacrifice, because Jesus is saying, whatever I got is yours. The most expensive thing that I got is my blood. No greater sacrifice than for a man to lay down his life for his friend. And I call you friends. Although I'm a king and you could be my servants and peasants, I call you friends instead. And since you're my friend, I will lay down my life. And in exchange for that sacrifice, we should sacrifice whatever we have, which would be our lifestyles, what our choices of doing things our own way, and say, Jesus wouldn't do it. I mean, they had a few years ago, it was a popular saying that went around WWJD, what would Jesus do? And that's the question we should think of in every situation of our lives, especially in heated moments. I mean, as much as possible in every moment. Think, in this situation I'm in, what would Jesus do? And if you know the things of God, you'll definitely be able to choose what Jesus would do, and it's going to be a better outcome for you. But back to this woman, she's pouring out her soul, her tears, and her perfume at Jesus Christ's feet. And then the Pharisee who invited Jesus over for dinner, he's like, I don't know if you know this or not, but I know you're holy, so let me just expose this woman at your feet real quick, because I'm sure you wouldn't want her touching you after this. This is the whore of the town. I don't know if you haven't not heard of her or not, but she's a whore. She's the biggest sinner we know around. Why are you letting her touch you? You're too valuable, too holy for that. I mean, get her out of here. Oh. And Jesus says, wait a second. Now, when I came in here, did you offer me anything when I came in here? Like water? Did you, so I could wash my feet? You saw I had on those sandals, and I'm kicking sand all in your house. The normal convenience would be to give me some water so I could wash my feet off like anybody does at their house. When I came here, did you give me a kiss? Since I got here, she hasn't stopped kissing my feet. Did you give me any special oil to rub on my head? Back then, oil was special to put on the hair. She's like, well, she's poured this beautiful perfume on my feet. And let me tell you a story, Simon, since you want to be so judgmental and say that I'm so holy that she can't be a part of me or touch me. Who do you think would feel more forgiven if two people owed a banker some money, one $50, one $500, neither one could pay him back, and the banker says, you're forgiven, you don't have to pay me anything back? Who would be more appreciative of that? The man said, well, I think the one who owed the most money. Of course it would be that person. So she has more sins, so she's going to be more appreciative. You might have had a few sins. You work in the church, okay? You were able to escape your lifestyle. You grew up with great parents, great neighborhood. This girl came from the slums. You have no reason to judge her. You don't know her lifestyle. You don't know how her parents kicked her out on the street and she had to slut around and prostitute herself just to get a meal. You don't know all the sins that she got in just to survive. You were growing up in a mansion down the street. Your parents were part of the church in the first place. You became part of the church because of your parents. And you've had a couple sins here. You told a little lie there. Did this here. Sure. That's why you're not so eager to see me and give me a kiss. You're not at my feet bowing down. But this woman who's loaded down with all these sins, who's touching me right now, she's worthy to touch me because she's releasing everything that she's done to me and saying thank you for saving me from my sins, because she had so many of them. So you don't have the same reaction as her. Don't knock what she's doing because you don't have the same life as her. So that's what Jesus was trying to teach Simon when he tried to judge this woman. And then after a little while, the woman, before then, before the end of this, the other religious preachers are sitting around just hating again. Who does this man think he is? How can he forgive sins? They're not realizing this is God in the flesh. And then Jesus just says to the woman, because you believed, you are saved from your sins. Go in peace. So if you're out there and you're thinking, I've done this, and that, how could God forgive me? Those are the awful things. There's no way God could forgive me. Well, humble yourself. Come to God spiritually thinking, with your tears. Come bow yourself before Him in your spirit and just thank Him for taking those sins away. So now you don't have to feel guilty. And when those thoughts of what you've done come back up in your head, tell yourself, hey, stop trying to accuse me, evil one, through my thoughts. I'm free. I have not sinned. I'm going to focus on not sinning and living a sin-free life as much as possible because Jesus died for me. And this is a transaction of love where Jesus takes your sins, you appreciate it, and you change your life around. You can't change your life around if you still got the mindset, this is me, this is how I'm going to be, I've been this way since 1993. If you're living like that, no way that you're ready to turn around. And it takes first step is humbleness, to know I am a sinner. I do have sins. I'm not perfect. Realize that. Nobody's perfect. If nobody's perfect, why is it so hard to realize that you're not perfect and you have sins and if you know that you have sins, why don't you realize that you need to get those sins out of your life so you can have some peace and love and joy and the things that God has already set forth to be part of your life, if only you would just grab it and claim it. But instead we get festered into our sins where we just get consumed by what we've done and think that, oh, I've already done this, might as well do this too. Why? No problem. I already feel like crap in this world. I'm not important. All this other stuff. Start seeing yourself as the God that you are. You are God. God lives in your spirit. So tap into that. See how a God lives and start being that. So that is the end of Luke 7. Because I've missed so many days, I will go ahead and read Luke 8 and make that the last one for today. So check out the next one, which is Luke 8. It's titled The Group with Jesus. And let's see what that's going to be about. Alright, goodbye everyone.